everyone. Welcome to my podcast. I know, crazy statement, but we are here. We are making it happen. It's really odd making a solo podcast or like just yapping on your own, because I feel like normally podcasts are between more than one person, but I guess we'll just make this my like soliloquy. I have no proper name for this or like what I'm doing. I just know that I have things to say and I have a microphone. So we're just here making things happen, and we're just not afraid to be scared to fail anymore, because there have been so many times in my life where I have been scared of what other people thought, but there has been many times in my life where I was scared of what people thought, scared of what I would do, scared of what to pursue. And I'm here now to tell you that I literally have no idea what I'm doing. I literally have no idea how to set up a podcast, but I'm genuinely here. So if this gives anyone any sort of encouragement, like, I hope so. And if you hear tippy tappies in the back, that is in fact my dog. So please don't mind the tippy tappies. But yeah, so this point of this video, I know you're not here to listen to me yap, but let's just get right into it. I guess these are 3 things I learned before turning 23 technically, but yeah, let's just get into some life lessons, because I feel like life lessons are a big thing that I think people tend to overlook when they're looking at someone's status or how successful people are. I feel like life lessons are something that I always want to give out to people, and I also really want people to learn and be just I just want people to learn. So if this helps out one person, hello okay, sorry, never mind. But yeah, if this helps out one person in my life, then I will be ecstatic. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. I mean, the first thing is kind of a phrase that I remember or go by, and it's nothing changes if nothing changes, which sounds redundant and stupid, but the more that you really think about it, it's so true. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And this was something that I was writing about at the beginning of my journal this year, or like when I was writing a letter to myself at the beginning of January. I was feeling redundant and stuck. Those were my words that I felt going into 2025. And now I can wholeheartedly say that my life has like flipped around quite literally 180 degrees. Like if it wasn't my car, it was going to be me. But my life has fully changed. Like talking from my job to my health and like to everything, like my life has flipped upside down, which is a good thing. And it is hard to sometimes take on a lot of change at once. And I feel like that was kind of how it was for me. But sorry, I have to get comfortable. My right shoulder's going out. Sorry, I have to get comfy. But yeah, it was definitely hard to make adjustments into my new life and like who I was going to become. But I think the more that I let myself, or I surrendered myself, I feel like the more that the opportunities opened for me, which sounds stupid, but I saw this video on TikTok of this nurse telling this patient, like, just surrender your body, like, just let your body, like, do what it needs to do. And I feel like in that moment, even though she was giving birth and it was a tough time, I feel like I resonated to that in that moment, because I was like, oh, I just need to surrender my mind or my brain or whatever. Like, I just need to surrender something in order for change to happen. And like in that TikTok's case, it was like the mom giving birth, and that's the change. But you have to seriously just surrender, which sounds like sermon-y, but I promise it's like, yes, I love Jesus, but like, I'm not trying to make a sermon right now, but it's just more so when you surrender yourself, the opportunities just flow. And also when people are like, oh, like my gut feeling, it's like, girl, like it just makes sense. And the changes within this year for me have really shown me a lot, especially like who my friends are, who they aren't, who they're supposed to be, or not supposed to be, but necessarily like what kind of chapter did they belong to? Did they belong to the entire book, or just chapters 6 through 7, or like the entire book? Like, it definitely is a telltale when you create changes in your life that people will change surrounding you. So when you evaluate change and how that is in your life, I feel like you need to make a conscious effort of who you want to keep within those changes. And if the people that you want to keep are people who support those changes and are actually there for you because they want to see you win and not because they're there for proximity. So I think when I changed, I mean everything, like when I changed my job and when I changed my fitness journey and when I changed how I live, I feel like a lot of people were first stunned. Like, they were appalled that I would ever, I don't know, say no to going out or say, I'm going to stay in tonight, when it's not a response that they necessarily want to hear. And when people are only friends with you because it's within proximity, it makes it hard for them to make any other plans. So, for example, like a year ago, let's just say, my work friends were my only friends. And that's because I worked 24/7. So I was only around people who worked with me. And it was nice for that moment to be like, oh, like I love my coworkers, they're my friends. But there does come a line where it is coworker and friend. And sometimes the phrase you'll hear is, oh, I love X, Y, and Z as a person, but not as a worker. Or, oh, I love X, Y, Z as a worker, but not a person, and vice versa. And it really just does set into your life of your time here is so precious and so valuable. So make the change. Like, me posting this episode right now is making a change. And like me doing this is a change. So don't think that your changes have to be like, yeah, moving halfway across the country and like knowing no one, which like would be a dream. But I think my point with it is like, you don't have to make a crazy change, but you also have to understand if you stay stagnant, nothing will change. Nothing. And sometimes if you are in a happy place and in a happy mindset, you might be like, oh yeah, like I wouldn't want anything to change from here, which is awesome. And sometimes you have to just accept that if this is not what you want in life, or if this is not what you value, you're welcome to pivot at any time. No one's stopping you. No one's saying, you can't pivot today. Like, that's crazy. Or, you can't make that change. That's ridiculous. Like, who's going to stop you? Like, 2 days ago, I started intermittent fasting just because I felt like it. Like, you literally have so much control over your life. And I don't want to scream in this microphone, but I just want to be like, because you have so much power and so much control that you don't even realize how much each decision shapes who you are. Sorry, I need to make a coffee break during this pep talk. But yes, you just have to genuinely believe that change is inevitable, but also that everything will work out for you. Like, every single step I've taken in a direction out of my comfort has opened new opportunities. It's not crazy. Like, every single step that I've said that I wanted to take, or that I thought that I wanted to take, or believed that I wanted to take, it happened. I genuinely, like, I believe from the bottom of my heart that it happened. And everything was meant to be. Like, I had this camera, I bought this microphone. Like, everything that you want to do is within you already. And people can be like, this is an example for me about wanting change, is that sometimes you're like, ugh, it's hard. It's hard. Change is hard. Like, intermittent fasting is hard. I don't want to diet. I want to eat food. And then you kind of realize you're like, okay, but does being in the same health condition for 5 years sound hard for you? Does going to the doctor sound hard for you? Does taking medicine seem hard for you? And even if you take medicine, you still have to implement healthy lifestyle practices. So why are we not wanting to change over that? So yeah, I just genuinely believe that change is something that is so important. And the only thing that is constant in our life is change. Everything is constantly changing. Everything. From what time you wake up every day, from what clothes you decide to wear, from what breakfast you decide to have. Everything could change. And so if you're listening to this like video and you're like, well, like, I don't know. It's like, you do know. Like, I've wanted to be an influencer for God knows how long. Like, I've wanted to be a content creator for God knows how long. Like, I wanted to create videos. I created videos since I was 13, making surfing videos. Like, I loved the editing part of videos. I loved creating videos. I loved capturing like memories. So and I'm making a video now at 23, 10 years later, because I was scared of change. Like, you just have to really break that barrier. Like, break that barrier of, oh, like, I don't want to change. Change sounds insane. And honestly, change sounds like such a large word, but it literally is just a decision. Let that sink in. Change is just a decision. Who would have thought, right? Change is a decision. Enough said. When I quit my job, that was a decision. When I decided to email UGC people to make videos, that was a decision. When I decided I was going to intermittent fast, that was a decision. You see how all these things seem so big and so large inside your brain of, I need to make a change. I need to do this. I need to do that. And I need to do this. And it's like, just look at it from one thing that you would have liked to be different. Anything that you feel in your heart, like me making this video was a decision. I wanted to make this decision. I wanted to buy this microphone. It's a decision, but it's change. It's different than what I've had. So yeah, circling back to, that's just my first point, but circling back to like, that's why change is so important. And you have to just let go of that idea that it has to be something massive or huge or just like life changing. Because do you think Simone Biles was like, actually, I'm going to create a Biles at like 7? No. Was she like, actually, like, Simone Biles had to make a decision to do gymnastics. And even though her teammates change, her tricks change, and her life changes, she's still successful. And that's her sticking to a decision and wanting that change. So if it's something in your life that is just telling you, shouting at you, gripping you, telling you, I don't like this moment that I'm living in, make a change. It sounds so like duh, but like not really though, because I mean, it took me 10 years to make this video and like post it publicly and edit it if it gets out into the universe. Like, there it is. But it genuinely, sorry, I say genuinely so much, but I just think like you are the master of it all. And don't ever doubt your capabilities, because you are more capable than you realize. Like me setting up this microphone and this camera, if it all works out well, I've done it right. And like, I didn't think I was capable of doing that. So yeah, I think that's just another thing that I have been thinking about recently about change. But I'm very happy in every way possible. And the second lesson that I have learned turning 23, because we're kind of just pivoting here, is to love the kids around you. Sounds stupid, right? But if you would ask me a year ago, I said I hate kids and I don't want them anywhere near me. But I think I just volunteered at a surf contest, which I recommend anyone to volunteer anywhere. Like, I mean, I am not mentally fit to do animal shelter, but if you want to volunteer anywhere that's calling for you. Like in Hawaii, we have like fish ponds, like like taro patches, all that kind of stuff. But anyways, I volunteered at a surf contest, which I have also participated in when I was younger, which I'm going to do a whole separate episode about competing, about like how to be a professional surfer. Not professional, but like how it was growing up being a competitive surfer. But anyways, that's going to be a whole other episode. But I was just thinking about it, and all of these kids still have a dream. And it really brought me back to my senses of like, when was the last time I dreamed of something? When was the last time I thought anything is possible? And I think that's why it's actually very important to be around kids, which sounds kind of like counteractive, because you're like, ugh, like kids are so messy and so yada yada, and you can think of any excuse in the world to not hang out with kids. But I hung out with this one kid over the contest, and I caught her as she was getting pushed into a wave, and just like that smile, like I understand why parents do it now. Like I genuinely understand why they do it. I think they love seeing it's like reliving life through another lens. And I've only been able to say this because I mean, my cousins had kids, like they're young, and I feel like I'm living life again. I feel like I'm starting over. Like when my cousin rode a roller coaster for the first time, like, oh my gosh, like when was the last time I rode a roller coaster for the first time? Like all of these different scenarios that you just take advantage of or take for granted because you're too grown for this or too grown for that. And it's like, just do it and like hang out with kids. I genuinely enjoy, oh my God, I've caught myself saying genuinely like 4 times. I love hanging out with children. It's really fun to see their imagination grow, and I also love being loved by kids. And I think that's something I had to get back, because when I was younger, kids loved me, and then I think once I started working at my past restaurant, that kind of love just kind of went away, and it felt like I was getting older, I wasn't cool, and like I started to overthink a lot of things about what these kids think of me, because I grew up with like a community of kids. Like I had so many kids around me, and I was always the oldest one. So anytime they needed a babysitter, like they wanted me, like all this stuff. And then you just get older and you realize, like, where did that spark go? Like, where did my love for children go? And so that's why I love hanging out with kids. And I think I just love seeing how their brain works, all like the silly things that make them laugh. Because see, like, this is the thing, like, you don't have to like impress them or think like, it's just simple things that like kids catch on to. So I think hanging out with kids has brought my joy back and has brought my spark back, which is something that I thought had dissipated a long time ago. But just hanging out with children has helped me a lot, and also has like wanted me to like get my own one day. Like it was really cute just seeing little kids in jerseys getting pushed into massive waves, and everyone's cheering for them and filming and taking videos. And it just made me really happy that kids are still kids, still, even with all this social media, cell phone, games, and all that stuff. Like, kids are still kids, and kids want to have fun. And I definitely want to be a better person for the kids in my community and allow for them to be someone to like look up to and like lean on. So yeah, that was my second thing that I've learned, because I feel like I haven't hung out with kids in a really long time until that past weekend, and it was really nice just to hang out with them. So yeah, third lesson that I have learned is to pick your village wisely. Pick it wisely. Your time here is limited. Your time here is short. If you don't want to spend time with someone, don't spend time with someone. And I think that was the largest thing. And also just setting boundaries for me was a huge part of why my friendships work till this day. And let me know if you guys thought the same, but I always thought that I had to show up 100%. to hang out with my friends. Like if I was feeling good, like today, like if I had a good day today and I was having a good time, like yeah, like I'd hang out with some friends. But if I was feeling down in the dumps and not myself and bad, like I wouldn't want to hang out with my friends. And sometimes I didn't even want to tell them why I was feeling a certain way or acting a certain way. But I think the more that I become closer with my close friends, it's just taught me to realize that my friends don't care about what kind of mood I'm in a certain day. Like they love me for me all the time. And it has taken me so long, which I'm going to do a whole episode. Sorry, I'm saying like, I'm going to do an episode about this. But I promise like friendships is a whole other episode and it's coming. But I think like one of my closest friends, we've been kind of friends for like 4 years, but we got extremely close. No, actually, we've been friends for like 7 years, but we've been extremely close these past like 3 years, I would say. And it's really taught me that the longer your friendships go, the more your friend's going to know about you and the more that your friend just loves you for who you are. And like, I love her for who she is. Like, there's no putting up a wall or like, because I always felt like I had to be a certain someone or be a certain personality to be able to like hang out with my friends. But my friends now don't care. They don't care that I'm not piping happy, or they don't care if I'm tired. Like they just want to see me and hang out. And I think like that meant a lot to me. And like it also took a lot of opening up from my end to be like, hey, like I'm genuine. Like I don't know if I can like hang out at like max level today, but like I'm down to do like a paint and sip or whatever. And I feel like they'll be like, yeah, for sure. And just that and being able to be super vulnerable with my friends has been a huge accomplishment for me this year. Because any of the other friends that I've tried to state these needs or state these boundaries to, it tended to be overlooked. And so I tend to like go to a stage of like self-isolation and like not want to talk to anyone and like not want to have any friends. But I feel like the more that I'm creating close bonds with friends, and it also takes two people to tango. Like you need to be able to have a close connection with a friend in order for you to open up, and like they also have to create that opening. So I think it goes both ways of just having amazing friends who listen and love you. I'm forever grateful that my friends still listen to whatever sarcastic comment I make or whatever joke I crack, and they still love me for me. And when I'm in the down in the dumps or if I'm thriving, they're still there for me. And I think girlhood and like girl friendships were something that I've longed for my entire life. And finally, I can say that I have an amazing group of girls around me who just support me. And also you have to realize that not every one of your friends has to be intertwined. Like that is something that I've learned too, is like not all your friends have to mix from certain groups. And like sometimes if you're like, oh yeah, like you'll love my friend, like I'll mix. But for the most part, I love just hanging out with people one-on-one or with quality time. I think it's crazy that people think that like going out and partying is quality time, because it's not. It might be fun in the moment, but I think you really don't get to know someone when they're drunk. You'll know what they act like when they're drunk, but you don't know anything more about them. So I think my values have shifted, and like with that, some friends have left, some friends have stayed, and it's made me so grateful that I wholeheartedly think that my friends are one of the pillars of my life. And I think the more that you open yourself up to friendships is like the best way, because some of my bestest friends I just met on a whim. Like I was like, oh yeah, you want to come hang out? Like let's hang out. And it's as simple as that. And I think it's similar to dating. It's like, oh yeah, like let's just go on a date and see how it goes. You don't need to put this emphasis on, oh, like what if they're my husband? Or like if I hung out with every friend or met every single person, I was like, oh, what if this is my best friend for life? Like how toxic is that mindset? And like also, that other person does not know you're putting that expectation on them or that pressure on them. So how unfair of you to create something that is so unrealistic and then just be like, well, they might be my best friend for life, and treat them as such. Like all of my friends, I've gotten or from places of like, oh, like we vibe and we go off well, and then now like we're besties. It's a slow, gradual burn. And I think that's the most important thing, because you want to be able to like slowly get to know someone and like let them know you. Like, don't show a whole version of you yet. And yeah, some things are not meant to all be said, and some things are meant to be kept to yourself. And like, the more that you allow for the friends to show up in your life, then I think it's time to open that door and creak it open slightly. But yeah, I just love my friends right now, and I'm in a happy place of life, and I'm just enjoying every single moment, because life is amazing and life is great, and I'm just having a good time here. So yeah, thanks for listening to my first podcast. I thought I couldn't ramble, but I fear I've almost rambled for like half an hour. But yes, thank you so much for listening to this episode of just Jasmine, just me thinking. I don't refer to myself as the third person, so that was really odd. But thank you so much for listening to this episode of just me. Just me yapping and talking about life and everything. If you want to hear more about like, just let me know what topics down below you would like me to talk about. I mean, I didn't really talk much about like my background or like my life, but if you want to hear about like what it was like to be a professional or being around professional surfers growing up, or like girl talk or friendships, or like how I've stayed single for over 23 years, over 23 years, or just like any lessons or anything, like if there's anything that you guys specifically want me to talk about, please comment them down below so that I can actually provide for you instead of just yapping about random things that like no one cares about. I mean, I can talk about being sober, I can talk about just being sober, or like how to choose friends, how I've stayed single, how to enjoy single life, how to reset, just things to like just give you tips. And obviously everything I said, take it with a grain of salt. I am not a therapist. I'm purely just a random 23-year-old who lives on an island and just has some thoughts. So please don't sue me. This is all alleged. But yes, follow me on Instagram. It's Jasmine H. Crawford. And follow me on my TikTok. I think that's the same handle. Jasmine H. Crawford, I believe, on TikTok as well. My TikTok is like where you'll see the main of my personality. I talk about anything and everything on TikTok, so please follow me on TikTok if you haven't already, and everything else will be linked down below. Thank you so much for listening. This is crazy, and I hope that this can continue. But yes, comment down below anything you want to see, and peace out, Girl Scout. Until next time. Oh my god, that was crazy.